Welcome to Head2Head Science 1. Question 1. The end of this phase is marked by terminalization of chiasmata. In animal cells, asters appear during this phase and bind to the chromatids. Human oocytes remain frozen in the fourth part of this phase until they are released during a monthly ovulation. Synaptonemal complexes begin to form during the leptoptene part of this phase, causing chiasmata to become visible. Towards the very end of this phase, centrosomes migrate to opposite ends of the cell. In this phase, chromatin condenses into chromosomes, and crossing over occurs. For 10 points, name this stage of meiosis 1 that follows the G2 checkpoint and precedes metaphase 1. Answer. Prophase 1. Do not accept prophase 2. Do not accept or prompt on meiosis or mitosis. Question 2. A system's Hamiltonian, differentiated with respect to a generalized version of this quantity, is equal to the time derivative of position. It is described in quantum mechanics by I times h bar times the gradient operator, and its Planck unit is equal to h bar over the Planck length, and is equal to Planck's constant divided by a particle's de Broglie wavelength. Via Noether's theorem, it results from translational invariance of laws of motion. Impulse describes its change in time, and force is its derivative. For 10 points, name this quantity conserved in elastic and inelastic collisions, the product of mass and velocity. Answer. Linear momentum, or translational momentum. Do not accept angular momentum. Do not prompt on momentum. Question 3. This word, preceded by hyper, describes a function of a equal to the k function of a plus 1. A formula for the k-catalan number is this function of 2k divided by this function of k times this function of k plus 1. This function of successive natural numbers forms the denominators of this terms in a Taylor series. For 0, this function can be shown to equal 1 by equating this function of n to the number of permutations of n objects. For 10 points, name this function which gives the product of all positive integers equal to or less than a specified integer, symbolized by an exclamation point. Answer. Factorial. Question 4. A compound containing cadmium, tellurium, and this element is a semiconductor that converts high-energy photons into electrons. The iodomethyl compound of this element is used in the Simmons-Smith reaction, and its amalgam is used in the Clemmensen reduction. This element's chief ore is a sulfur-containing mineral called sphalerite. A single atom of oxygen combines with this element to form its oxide, which is used as a white pigment. This element serves as a sacrificial anode when it is used to galvanize rust-prone materials such as iron or steel. For 10 points, name this transition metal that is mixed with copper to form brass and has symbol Zn. Answer. Zinc. Prompt on Zn before end. Question 5. Description acceptable. In his namesake Tip, John Harivel made a notable contribution to this effort by accounting for the laziness of certain enemy workers. An earlier attempt to perform this action used a characteristics method invented by Marian Rejewski, but his work was undone with the addition of 2 more rotors. This effort was codenamed Ultra, and it used machines like the bomb in its central location in Bletchley Park. Alan Turing contributed to the success of this effort, which allowed the movement of U-boats to be predicted ahead of time. For 10 points, describe this effort to solve an unbreakable German war code. Answer. Cracking the Enigma code. Accept synonyms for cracking like solve or break. Accept ultra before mention. Prompt on code breaking or cryptography. Thanks for playing.